What's going on, everybody? Welcome to part 2 of this series of how to start and open your own sports card shop from start to finish, A to Z. And if you haven't already watched part 1, which I'm assuming you have, but in case you haven't, I will leave a card to it for you to watch part 1 because I do strongly believe that you should watch part 1 before endeavoring down part 2. I'll leave a card to it and I'll also leave a link to it down in the description below. But if you already watched part 1 and you've been anticipating part 2, well, here we go, and I hope you enjoy all the exciting information that I have to share with you from my experiences to help you if you want to open your own card shop. So in part 1, I really emphasized doing research and understanding commercial real estate, understanding the lingo that it goes with, researching different places to lease, and reading your lease contract. I really emphasized that portion, that part of this journey. But everything that I have to go over here in part 2, and yes, again, I'm going to be using the iPad here. So if I'm looking down or away, and I'm referring to my notes here because I don't want to miss any important information. So here we go. You've been through stress, nervousness, excitement, joy, and many other emotions. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. You've conducted all your necessary research and found the place that you will call your shop. You are about to move in, and after you signed your lease contract, what are the next steps? Remove any unwanted furniture, fixtures, items, and supply, stuff that you don't want from the possible previous tenant if there was. Me personally, Allstate was here. There was a bunch of business desks, filing cabinets. There was those plexiglass panels that you see oftentimes at places because of COVID, so they don't want the germs to spread to their employees. So I had to remove all of that stuff, get it all out, and it was a pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie. Conduct any interior renovations such as building walls, painting, installing new carpet, removing carpet, adding new flooring, whatever it may be. Make sure this work is done properly and in a workmanlike manner. A fresh coat of paint might be nice to freshen and liven up the space. So when I first got here, the walls were blue and light gray, and I painted all the walls white to just make it more vibrant, make it more eye-appealing and popping. And having a fresh coat of paint really does go a long way. And if you guys are curious of what I keep referring to as such as when Allstate was here and the processes that I went through, well, I made a whole playlist and I documented and vlogged the whole series of me building my own dream shop from start to finish when I moved in to opening day. So I will leave a card to that playlist here in this video right now for you. And after this video, I would strongly recommend going to watch that because you'll be able to physically see everything that I did from when I signed my lease to bringing in the cabinets, putting up the shelves, going through cards, and all of that. And I strongly recommend you watch that series as well because it'll help further your education and it'll help further your research in your own process to opening your own card shop. Then you gotta move back to the topic, right? And I digressed a little bit. Move your furniture in such as desks, chairs, cases, cards, wax displays, any form of furniture you need, supplies, inventory, move all that stuff in. If you're not sure where to get cases or shelves or anything like that, look up store fixturing places near you to find warehouses with retail furniture that you may need or even want. They're not far and few between, but there isn't many out there. Let's see, I'm in Johnston. I had to go all the way up to Marlborough, Mass, which is like an hour away. Not an insane drive, but it is a drive nonetheless. The previously stated points that I just talked about are personal preferences. Obviously, what colors do you want the walls? How many cases do you want? How do you want your wax setup be? Do you want shelving? Whatever. That's all personal preference. That's going to be your decision to make and your own personal preference. However, it still needs to be done to some degree, and it can take some time, so definitely plan accordingly. It took me, from when I signed the lease, I had 6 free weeks of rent from when I signed to September 1st, which is the first day I had to pay for my lease, and I opened 5 days before the first of the month. So I used just about 5 weeks of that free time to set up. And obviously, different places are going to need different things to, be done to a place. Like, it took me 4 days to paint the walls. I don't know why. but it took me 4 days, and I took a weekend off for my bachelor party. So there's basically a whole week right there that I just, essentially wasted. So make sure you use your time properly, use it accordingly, and use it smart. The next part is, again, also preference, but this is where it will differ from my experience as I set up my shop in the way I wanted it to set up. Now you will set up your shop the way that you want to set it up. This is where the fun takes off, but it's still also very stressful, just like everything else was. Here you get to arrange the cases in any configuration, any order that you want. And if you've been to my shop, you'll kind of see that I have it in like an L kind of a shape. And whether when I first opened from the Building My Own Card Shop series that you've seen it, to now, it's still an L shape. My personal preference, you could have it go up and down the length of the shop. You could have it going straight across, horizontal, vertical. Your preference, your choice, but just make sure the flow of it for your customers and your patrons are good. Let's see. You get to put what cards in what cases. Display your sealed products on the shelves, racks, or any form of fixtures. You can even put the sealed wax in the cases if you want. However you like, your personal choice. Setting up tables and cubbies for bargain bins or other products / cards you're choosing. All of this is a major benefit and perk to owning your own card shop, or any business for that matter. It doesn't have to be a card shop. Is being able to have complete control over the operations, designs, and just how the physical aesthetics of the space will look. Very, very exciting. Stressful, yes. I can't stress it enough. I move the cases around 1,000,001 ways. I move the tables around so many different ways. And, even 8 months in, I'm still looking to help maneuver things around and just make the space better. Having it one way when you first open and a couple months later having it a different way isn't a bad idea. So whatever layout you choose may seem and appear perfect, but to be honest, it's never going to be perfect. There's always room for improvement. As Card Collector 2 says, progress over perfection. As you set up your furniture, your display cases, shelving, and all other furniture in your shop, you may also want to establish a security system. Any business should have this. Almost any place you go to has some form of security, whether it's a bank or a grocery store or a paint supply store, Lowe's, wherever. Again, research, look them up. I have my personal preference of which security systems I want here at the shop. You're gonna do your research and have your own preference. But me personally, I found that Best Buy has a ton of great security systems. They have Ring, Arlo, Eufy. Those are just 3 of them. I'm sure there's more of them. They have a ton of options with different brands of interior security cameras, and I strongly recommend checking them out because, as you may know, I had a theft problem here at the shop once before, and if it wasn't for my cameras, I wouldn't have been able to catch the guy. So if you don't have any cameras, then you're not going to be able to catch the guy and you're not going to have any idea. So definitely make the investment. Do not be cheap with this. Like I stressed about reading the contract in its full entirety in part 1, I'm going to stress this here. Do not go cheap with your security cameras. I'd rather see you go cheap with cases or tables or just other store fixtures, lights, desks, chairs, whatever. Go cheap with that stuff if you have to, if you're on a tight budget, which I'm going to assume you are because I was too. Do not go cheap with a security camera system. Please, please don't do it. You will thank me later if your security cameras are, they caught someone, hopefully no one steals from your shop, or if anything happened and the police need some camera footage from your shop, you'll be able to dive in and show it to them. And I promise it'll be very beneficial to you. They cannot be taken for granted. Having good security cameras watching your shop at all times for shoplifters, thieves, or even while you're closed is a tremendous way to not lose sleep. When I was first setting up the shop, and it's still a little bit to this day, lay in bed, whatever, like, oh, how's the shop? Someone gonna break in? But the cameras are there. The cameras are there to watch your blind side. That's why you cannot go cheap with it. This could easily be one of the first things you do when you sign and move into your new space. Before, I'd probably say paint the walls first, then put up security cameras. But until you start getting some expensive things in there, such as cards and wax, that's when the security cameras should go up. A POS system is obviously a necessity. Yeah, you may be good with math or crunching numbers, like I like to think that I am, but having a POS system is going to make your life a million times easier. Getting a cash register or money drawer with a POS system to accept debit or credit card is an absolute must. Most people, if not 90% of people, pay with some form of charge card, whether it's a debit or credit. Being able to accept those forms of payment will make your shop much more attractive, accessible for people, and a lot more easier, because cash is kind of a thing of the past. Not in all aspects of it. I mean, trust me, when people pay with cash, you're going to absolutely appreciate it.
Stop it.
You will again have to do research to find which POS system is best for you, considering balance transfers to your account, fees, just the way that it operates internally in that system. Me personally, I have Square. It's just what was available at Best Buy when I walked in that day. But I know, Bank of America, and I'm sure Santander has their own form of POS systems, Clover. But there are other systems out there for you to use. Obviously, you can go to like Staples and buy a cash register there and a credit card machine there if you want. Again, do all your research about this. I mean, I don't want to say go cheap on it, but you don't have to get a $1,000 cash register. You can just get a little thing. Hold on.
A few moments later.
You can just get a little mag reader that just clips in to your Apple device if you have one, iPad, iPhone, and it just goes in like that, and you slide the card. You can use that, or you can use the Square reader, which, let me put the iPad down. Once it's connected, then you insert the chip in, or you could even tap to pay with people's devices and such like that. This is like $50 or whatever. I think if you, how did I get this? I think if you just, how did I get this? I don't even remember how I got this. It's like $10, $15, whatever, but I was able to get one for free, which I forget how I was able to do that. But again, fees is going to be one thing. Another thing you need to consider, Square takes out about 3%. Clover, I don't know. Bank of America, any other places, I don't know. Like I said, Square was just what was available in Best Buy when I walked in that day. It gets the job done. It's very convenient and holds all of my inventory here on the app. Let me just show you real quick. So real quick, here is Square. Say something cost, $45. I put the little plus tag, and it's gonna go into, then you review the sale. It's just everything's controlled in the app. You can punch in the numbers here. You also have a library of different categories that you can have there. I currently don't have anything programmed into Square's app. I did at one point, but then it just got to the point where inventory was just flowing and coming in and going out, and I just couldn't keep up with it. So I just, wiped out the whole inventory system aspect of it. But this is definitely very useful if it is something that you want to do. Obviously, say, you have this Donruss Fat Pack from 2020 and 2021. You can go into Square's system, you can find it, and then once it's checked out, say you have 5 of these, it's going to recognize that one of them was sold, and now it'll tell you only have 4 left. Same with any product that's in the system. So it's very helpful for sure. Spend some time on doing this. You don't want to lose too much sleep over it, especially with the fees. It takes forever to get transferred to your shop's account. Find the system that works best for you. Take all these things into consideration. If the fees are too high, then maybe stay away from it. If it takes too long to get from the balance pool in the POS system to your account, take that into consideration. You need to find a good blend of both. Make sure you invest your time strategically and efficiently in setting up your shop. There's a ton of work to do to fully prepare your shop for its grand opening day. Very exciting. Trust me, it's very exciting. Yes, stressful, but so exciting. Moving old and unwanted furniture out, conducting any renovations, setting up furniture, placing cards, bins, and other displays, setting up shelves or racks for your sealed wax product supplies, installing security cameras, organizing cards for bins, setting up tables and people to sit and break or go through the affirmation bins, etc., etc., etc. All these things are things that I've already covered to some degree here in this video. Again, There's so much work that needs to go around. I just rattled off maybe 10 things. Do not be afraid to delegate if you have a team of friends, family, or employees that you're going to have work for you. Do not be afraid to delegate. I delegated a little bit. Painting the walls, I delegated to some family. Let's see, Kim helped me with some bins, even though I helped her. She helped setting up the cubbies for my bargain bins. So you're going to want to do most of the work because it's your shop and you want to set it up perfectly. Totally understandable. I want to do the same thing. But from when you sign the lease to opening day, that time is going to go by very, very quick. Your first or free month of lease will fly by. So, using your time effectively is absolutely crucial, smart, and efficient, as you can't afford to waste time. You're going to want to open around the time your first rent/payment is due. If you're not open or close to being open by the time that first rent payment is due, then you're behind schedule, wasting time, and you're wasting money. That's how important this whole process is. I hate to be very blunt, and hopefully I'm not appearing to be rude when I say this, but you cannot afford to waste time. You have roughly 1 month of free time here in this space, and you can negotiate that in your lease. It may even just be already organically built into the lease depending on the landlord, but make sure you negotiate a free month of rent so you can give yourself 28 days, 30, 31 days, however long that month is, to just set up the space how you like. Because it's going to take time for you to move all the stuff in, set it all up. And after that month, if you're still doing it, I'm sorry, but you've wasted some time. And I know it seems to be rude and crude, and I'm just, being kind of blunt, but it's true. It's true. And I was working my ass off all the way until opening day. The day before I opened is when I finally finished. All right, I'm opening the shop in 4 weeks. All right, 3 weeks. All right, yeah, I'm opening the shop in 2 weeks. Time's, ticking. 1 week. What? Holy crap, 1 week left till we open? Where'd the time go? Oh my God, I'm opening in 3 days, 2 days. Oh my God, I open tomorrow. It's going to catch up to you, I promise. So, delegate, be efficient, be strategic, and don't waste time or money. Can't stress that enough. In case you're wondering why I'm wearing this Celtics jersey, is because the day that I'm recording here on April 20th, I've recorded both part 1 and 2 here on April 20th. It's because the Celtics game 2 versus the Brooklyn Nets in their first round of the playoffs is today. And I just want to rep my team and be a supportive fan. So that's why you've seen this green Celtics jersey throughout both parts 1 and 2. So you're probably wondering, Murph, how do I get sealed wax into my shop without having a distributor or sitting outside a Target at 3 in the morning? And to be honest, getting wax is quite difficult, to be honest. And even for me, I'm 8 months in, and getting wax can be difficult from time to time. But getting it for your shop is a necessity, regardless of how difficult it is. Now, there are 1,000 different ways you can set up a shop. You can just be a singles shop. You can just be a graded card shop, a vintage shop, or just a wax shop. There's a few different ways you can orientate your card shop. But I strongly believe that having wax is a necessity. That's my opinion. If you go watch another video or another series like this on YouTube, they may tell you different. Hence the research that you need to do. Take in a couple of other opinions. Don't just listen to one voice. And I want to make sure that I am, an outlet, a resource, and a tool for people to use. But I know people sit outside of Target 3 in the morning. They sit on Target and they scour and they get their wax that way and they go to flip it. And, that sucks to some degree, but I get it. But from when you have this idea and you want to push through it, if you can get wax for a good deal, hang on to it. Don't rip it. If you plan on opening a shop, you cannot afford to open wax. I've only opened 1 box of wax since I opened. And that's not including breaks. I get my pack fixed through breaks. But it was the day before I opened. Kim and I just finished. And I was celebrating, and I opened a hanger box of draft pick Prism football. and I got an auto out of it. It was pretty cool, but that's besides the point, and I digress. Do research and see if there's any local distribution warehouses for sports wax. Even using a second wave distributor will significantly help. Just helps get you wax on your shelves. For those that may not know what a second wave distributor is, let me explain. First-hand distribution is Panini, Topps, Upper Deck, those companies that have the licensing rights to these sports. Being able to place direct orders with them to receive products. That is first wave distribution. This is very difficult for new shops to get into, as I know with Panini you have to wait 6 months before you can just email them. I'm just like, hey, I'm a brick and mortar card shop and I'd like to get distribution with Panini. Gotta wait 6 months to be open to do that. Then once you reach the 6 months, you can reach out to them, and you still need to get approved, which is no guarantee in itself. I know I'm still waiting to hear back. I submitted my application in February when my shop turned 6 months old, and I heard back just a few weeks ago actually, and they said, sorry, we can't do it right now. We'll keep your application. We'll review it next quarter. You know what? Okay. I know there's card shops that have been open for 2 years that are still waiting on Panini. I saw on Instagram a card shop opened, I believe, either the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021, and they now just got approved by Panini. So it's going to take time, hence the importance of that second wave distribution. And second wave distribution are distributors who has those contracts with Panini, Topps, Upper Deck. We're able to place orders through them to receive products. They order the products directly from those companies, then they sell them to you for still cheaper than market price. They still give you a wholesale price. So for example, let's say a hobby box is $100 through Panini. Panini will charge the second wave distributor $100. Then they will charge you $150. Meanwhile, the market is $200, $250. So you're still getting it fairly cheaper, but it is still very, it's costly, yes, but you don't have to place cases if you don't want to, because I know with Panini you have to place full cases. So say you want, WWE Prism that just most recently came out. Say you want to get a few boxes. The only way to get a few boxes with Panini is if you place a whole case, and you may not want a whole case, or you can't afford a whole case. Whereas the second wave distributors, you'll be able to just place an order for like 2-3 boxes, or whatever you can afford, or whatever you want. Now they're not resellers because they're still charging you way under market value, unlike your typical resellers that only buy wax off of shelves to resell it and make $5 off that box. So I mean, there's a clear, distinct difference between a reseller and a second wave distributor. They're not waiting outside of Target at 3 in the morning, and they're not making $5 off a retail box. Yeah, I just went there. Having a surplus of some unopened wax that you've collected and stored away for when you open your own card shop is very smart and strategic. That will help you initially get over the lack of wax lump that you have when you first move into the space and when you first open. That's why I stressed, if you want to open a card shop, you cannot open wax. Get your singles, get your nice fancy cards at card shows. If you want to do breaks, sure, but I mean, I strongly don't recommend it if you want to open a card shop. If you're able to find wax on the shelf at Walmart or Target, buy a few boxes, sure, but just keep it. Don't open it, keep it. Don't resell it, keep it for your shelves, because even though it may be a product that just sits like a duck on the shelf, it'll still take up space on your shelf, especially where you don't have the licensing or the contract to bring in a ton of wax up front. Let's see, being 8 months open, it's still fairly difficult for me to bring in some wax from time to time. The allocation process sucks. Again, I'm open 8 months now, and I could place an order for 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes, and I'll get 1 or 2. That's just how it goes. I mean, there's so many people that are into sports cards, and there's so many current shops open across the country and whoever that these distribution companies serve, but how many shops are actually being opened right now, or how many newer shops are being opened? Yeah, I hear and I see card shops opening, from time to time, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, or maybe like yourself who wants to open a card shop, but there's way more longer tenured seniority card shops out there than there are newer ones being opened. So as much as I would like to say that, being 8 months open, I kind of gained some seniority, I absolutely haven't. I absolutely haven't. Once everything is all set up and you're ready to open, you'll feel so relieved. I cannot stress this enough. When I was done, the day before I opened on August 25th, that was the day before, I felt so relieved. But there is a disclaimer. You will still feel as if you can do something better to help you prepare and put your shop in a better position for success. You're going to see that table right there. Like, oh, what if I have it horizontal instead of vertical? What if I move it 3 inches to the left? Or what if I put the cubbies on this wall instead? Just listen, just do what you can with the time and the funds that you have. Don't overthink and let it consume you, or you'll lose sleep over it. Your days are going to be long. Listen, I spent between 4 and 10 hours at the shop almost every single day setting up the shop. I really did. There was a time that I spent 16 straight days here at the shop before I went to my bachelor party. 16 straight days. That's a long time. That's a very, very long time. And it's going to get draining. You are going to need rest. You will need your sleep. So don't let something eat you alive or lose sleep over it. If you truly care about your shop and its success, you'll make sure, I can't stress this enough, if you truly care about your shop and its success, you'll make sure you put the work necessary to place it in position it needs to be in for success. So if you truly want to make your shop work, you're going to make sure that this couch is in the right spot. You're going to make sure the wax is in the right spot. You're going to make sure you have all the necessary dollar bin cards that you need to open up. You are going to put in that work. And if you're laying in bed or watching TV at or watching this YouTube video at 11 in the morning or 11 at night, whenever really. I mean, I did it at all different times during the day. Or maybe my favorite, 3 in the morning. You're watching a YouTube video at 3 in the morning because you can't sleep. Don't lose sleep over it. It's going to be okay. It's going to change. If you watch my final part, I believe it's part 6 of building my own sports card shop, you're going to see that it is nowhere near what it looks like now compared to then. So even after you open, you're still going to maneuver some things around. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, like I said, like Card Collector 2 says, progress over perfection. So I really hope you were able to enjoy both parts 1 and 2 of this how to build your own sports card shop, literally from start to finish, A to Z, 1 to 100, however you want to describe it. I really did my best to make sure I made points of every little aspect and component from my own journey to help educate and enlighten you of where your journey could go, or what to look for in your journey, or just help educate to make your journey and your process a little bit more easy. I really do appreciate everyone for tuning in to both parts 1 and 2. Please make sure you like the videos, comment any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns down below in the comment section, as I'll make sure that I read and respond to any and all questions that you guys may have about this process. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you smash that giant subscribe button, as I would greatly appreciate the love and support to help make more videos like this, because I love making these videos as much as I love running the card shop. I want to be able to document, share, and be a community cornerstone for people, whether it's here at the shop or here on YouTube. So again, thank you so much for clicking on this video, liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I hope that this series was very beneficial, educational, and informative for you. And if you found this video very beneficial to your sports card journey, then I do strongly believe that this video right here is going to also help serve that purpose on your sports card journey. So I will see you in that one.